Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're firing up Note Lab mode for a deep dive into a topic that's both fascinating and pretty timely.
Yeah, definitely one of those topics that makes you go, whoa. Like, I need to really wrap my head around this.
Right. That's what Note Lab mode is all about.
Absolutely. A single topic explored in detail.
Yep, just the way you learners love it.
Exactly.
And speaking of grappling with complexity, a huge shout out to our sponsor for this deep dive,
Yes.
CloudFit.ai. CloudFit.ai.
Very cool.
They are a new B2B fashion commerce company making waves in the industry.
That's right.
We're talking about a team founded by the former CPO and CTO of some major fashion e-commerce players.
Wow.
You know, the companies that probably have a tab open on your browser right now.
For sure.
And get this, CloudFit.ai uses AI tools to help their clients boost revenue by, wait for it,
Okay.
boosting user engagement.
Nice.
They're finding those hidden patterns in customer behavior that lead to success.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like what we're doing here today, right?
Yeah. It is a great example of how AI is being applied in innovative ways across industries.
Absolutely. But today we're diving into the world of AI and its impact on something even more fundamental,
Okay.
human agency.
Interesting.
We're exploring Reid Hoffman's book, Superagency, Our AI Future.
Cool.
Now, you might know Hoffman as the co-founder of LinkedIn,
Right.
the guy who basically invented professional networking online.
Uh-huh.
But in this book, he tackles a question that goes way beyond job titles.
Okay.
How will AI shape our ability to make choices and control our own lives?
It's a question that's been on a lot of people's minds lately, especially with the rise of tools like ChatGPT
Yeah,
and all the buzz, both good and bad, around AI.
for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, whenever a new technology comes along, there's always that initial wave of fear.
Right.
Think about the printing press cars, the internet.
Uh-huh.
People were convinced they'd ruin society.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there were downsides.
Sure.
But we adapted, we innovated, and ultimately we figured out how to make these technologies work for us.
What's interesting is that Hoffman argues we're often too quick to focus on the negative,
Okay.
what he calls problemism.
Problemism.
Yes, and he believes this can actually stifle progress.
He makes a good point. Like, remember when mainframe computers first came out?
Mm-hmm.
People were genuinely worried they'd turn us into computerized men devoid of individuality.
Yeah.
Sounds a little silly now, right?
It does, but these fears were very real at the time.
Right.
And it highlights the importance of historical context.
Yes.
New technologies always disrupt the status quo, and it's natural for people to be apprehensive.
Absolutely. So how do we move beyond this problemism and approach AI development in a way that maximizes benefits and minimizes risks? Well, Hoffman is a big proponent of what OpenAI, the folks behind ChatGPT, call iterative deployment.
It's a fascinating approach that essentially involves releasing AI technology, incrementally getting feedback from the public, and using those learnings to shape further development.
It's like a constant feedback loop, right?
Mhm.
Instead of trying to predict every possible consequence before releasing something, you put it out there, learn from how people interact with it, and refine it along the way.
Right.
And think about it. You've probably already participated in this process without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Every time you use a recommendation algorithm on Spotify or Netflix,
Oh.
or even a spam filter in your email, you're interacting with AI and contributing to its development.
It's a powerful concept. We're not just passive consumers of AI, we're actively shaping its evolution through our everyday interactions.
It's like a massive collaborative experiment. Now, another big idea Hoffman explores is what he calls the private commons.
Okay.
He's talking about platforms like Google, Facebook, YouTube,
Right.
these massive platforms that have built their empires by collecting and using user data.
And this is where things get a little controversial, right?
Totally.
There's a lot of talk about data privacy exploitation, the idea that these companies are profiting off our personal information.
Totally. But Hoffman challenges that narrative.
Okay.
He argues that it's not just about data extraction.
Mm-hmm.
Users get something incredibly valuable in return.
Yeah.
Free and useful services that we rely on every single day.
Right.
He cites research showing that people would need a lot of money to give up these services.
Really?
Even for just a year.
Wow.
We're talking thousands of dollars.
It highlights the real value we place on these services.
Yeah.
It suggests that the relationship between users and these platforms is more complex than just exploitation.
For sure.
We're willingly trading data for convenience and utility.
It's a trade-off for sure, but it's one we make consciously for the most part.
Right.
And this brings us to a key question. Can we ensure that this exchange remains fair and that users have genuine control over their data.
That's where the idea of superagency comes in. It's about ensuring that we're not just passive participants in this data-driven world, but that we have the agency to make informed choices about how our information is used and how these technologies shape our lives.
It's about empowering individuals,
Right.
not just corporations.
Right.
Now, Hoffman draws a really interesting analogy between AI and GPS.
Okay.
Remember those days of unfolding those massive paper maps, trying to figure out where you were going?
Oh, yeah.
GPS came along and revolutionized navigation,
For sure.
helping us navigate complex physical landscapes.
Uh-huh.
And Hoffman believes AI can do the same thing for information.
Interesting.
He calls it our informational GPS,
Okay.
helping us make sense of the overwhelming amount of data we encounter every day.
I like that.
Think about it. We're bombarded with news articles, social media posts, videos.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in the noise,
Definitely.
but AI can help us filter, organize, and even translate this information into something we can understand and use.
And this is where the potential of multimodal AI gets really exciting. Imagine LLMs that can interact not just with text, but with images, audio, video.
Wow.
We're talking about an AI that could find the absolute best YouTube tutorial for you on any subject based on your learning style, or even summarize a complex scientific paper in simple terms.
It would be amazing. It's like having a personalized research assistant at your fingertips.
Right.
And it could have huge implications for accessibility,
Yeah.
making specialized knowledge and expertise available to people who might not otherwise have access to it.
Imagine AI helping people navigate complex legal documents,
Ah.
understand medical diagnoses, or even learn new skills from the comfort of their own homes.
Wow.
The possibilities are really quite extraordinary.
It's a vision of AI that focuses on empowering individuals, not replacing them.
Exactly.
And it's a vision that aligns perfectly with the concept of superagency.
It's about using AI to enhance our abilities to give us more control over our lives and to unlock our potential on a massive scale.
For sure. And this brings us to another key idea that Hoffman explores, the notion that code is law.
Ah, yes, code is law.
This is where things get a little bit mind-bending.
This idea, which comes from legal scholar Lawrence Lessig, essentially argues that in the digital world, software code sets the rules of the game.
Okay.
So as AI increasingly controls our digital spaces,
Right.
and by extension our physical world,
Yeah.
the question becomes, who gets to write that code?
Right.
Who decides what those rules will be?
And how do we ensure that those rules align with our values, with our sense of fairness, and with our desire for individual freedom?
Right.
These are big questions, and they go to the heart of what superagency is all about.
It's about ensuring that as AI shapes the rules of the digital world, those rules empower individuals, not constrain them.
Yeah.
It's about using AI to write laws that maximize human freedom and potential, not limit them.
It's a fascinating challenge, and one that I think will require a lot of careful thought and collaboration.
For sure.
We need to make sure that the code that governs our AI systems
Mm-hmm.
reflects the kind of future we want to create, a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
It's a future where individuals have the agency to shape their own destinies, even in a world increasingly shaped by algorithms.
And it's a future that I think is worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground already, but we've only just scratched the surface of Hoffman's ideas.
Right.
There's so much more to unpack.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
From the concept of the United States of AI America
Interesting.
to the role of AI in fields like mental health care and education.
And of course, we need to delve deeper into the practical strategies Hoffman suggests for individuals to thrive in this AI-powered world.
Right.
How can we develop the skills, the mindset, and the agency to navigate this uncharted territory?
Those are all great questions, and we're going to explore them in detail in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
So stick around, folks. Things are about to get even more interesting.
Awesome.
See you next time.
You know, one of the areas where Hoffman's ideas about superagency really clicked for me was in his discussion of mental health care. It's a field where AI could have a truly transformative impact, but it also raises a lot of questions and concerns.
It does. I mean, at first glance, the idea of AI in mental health might seem a little off-putting.
Right.
An AI therapist, is that really something we want?
It's understandable to have some initial hesitation,
Yeah.
but Hoffman makes a compelling case for why we should be open to the possibilities.
Okay.
He points out that there's already a massive shortage of mental health professionals worldwide.
Right.
Millions of people simply don't have access to the care they need.
And that's where AI could step in.
Right.
Not to replace human therapists entirely, but to augment their abilities and expand access to care.
Exactly.
It's like having an always available, empathetic, and non-judgmental support system.
Hoffman even talks about the app Coco, which briefly experimented with using GPT-3 to help craft supportive messages for its users.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is that users actually rated those AI-generated messages higher than the ones written by humans.
Wow. That's surprising. But I guess it makes sense in a way.
Yeah.
An AI can access and process vast amounts of information about human emotions and psychology.
Yeah.
It can tailor its responses to individual needs in a way that might be difficult for a human therapist to do consistently.
Right.
And because AI is free from human biases and judgments, it can create a safe space for people to explore their feelings and challenges.
Absolutely.
Of course, there are concerns about privacy and the potential for AI to be misused.
Sure.
But Hoffman argues that these risks can be mitigated with careful design and ethical guidelines.
It seems like the key is to strike a balance between leveraging AI's potential while still preserving the human connection that's so crucial in mental health care.
Right.
Perhaps AI could handle more routine tasks like providing basic support and information,
Okay.
while human therapists focus on more complex cases and deeper therapeutic work.
It's about creating a collaborative model where AI and human therapists work together to provide the best possible care for patients.
Exactly.
And there's just one example of how Hoffman sees AI augmenting human abilities, not replacing them. He also talks about the potential for AI to personalize education, to accelerate scientific discovery, and even to help us address global challenges like climate change and poverty.
It's exciting to think about all the ways AI could be used to improve our lives and make the world a better place.
It is. But of course, there are also risks and challenges that we need to be aware of.
Absolutely.
And Hoffman doesn't shy away from those.
No, he doesn't.
He dives into the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes, to exacerbate existing inequalities,
Right.
and even to pose existential threats to humanity.
Right.
It's a reminder that technology is a double-edged sword.
Is.
It's up to us to ensure that AI is developed and deployed responsibly, ethically,
Yeah.
and in a way that benefits all of humanity.
And that's where the idea of superagency comes in.
Okay?
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape the future of AI.
Right.
We're not just passive bystanders. We have the agency to make choices, to demand accountability, and to ensure that this technology is used for good, not for harm.
It's about embracing our responsibility, not shrinking from it.
Exactly.
And it's about using our intelligence, our creativity, and our compassion to guide AI development in a direction that aligns with our values.
Hoffman offers some practical advice for how individuals can navigate this AI-powered world and develop what he calls AI fluency.
Okay. AI fluency.
It's not necessarily about learning to code,
Right.
but rather about understanding how AI works, what its strengths and limitations are, and how we can use it effectively as a tool to achieve our goals.
It's like being able to speak the language of AI, even if you don't understand all the technical details.
Exactly.
It's about being able to communicate with these systems,
Yeah.
effectively give them clear instructions, and understand how to interpret their outputs.
Right.
And Hoffman believes that this AI fluency will be essential for thriving in the future job market. As AI automates certain tasks and disrupts traditional industries, new roles will emerge that require uniquely human skills like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and the ability to work effectively with AI systems.
So it's not about humans versus machines, but rather about humans and machines working together.
Right.
It's about leveraging AI's power to enhance our own abilities and create new possibilities.
And this is where the AI advantage paradox comes into play.
Yeah.
Hoffman argues that the people and organizations that embrace AI, that learn to use it effectively, and that adapt to this changing landscape will have a significant advantage in the future.
It's like any technological revolution. Those who adapt and innovate will thrive, while those who cling to the old ways may struggle to keep up.
Exactly. And Hoffman believes that this adaptation requires a focus on lifelong learning,
Right.
developing new skills, and being open to embracing new ways of working.
So it's not about just learning one set of skills and then coasting for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
It's about continuous learning, adaptability, and embracing the unknown.
And AI can actually be a powerful tool in this process.
Absolutely.
Hoffman envisions AI-powered education platforms that personalize learning, provide customized feedback, and help people acquire new skills throughout their lives.
It's like having a personalized tutor available 24/7, guiding you through your educational journey and helping you stay ahead of the curve.
It's a fascinating and optimistic vision, but it also raises the question of access.
Right.
Will everyone have equal access to these AI-powered education platforms?
Yeah.
Or will the benefits of AI be concentrated among those who can afford it?
That's a crucial point, and it's one that Hoffman addresses directly.
Okay.
He argues that we need to ensure that AI education is accessible to everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic background.
Right.
It's about making sure that AI doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities, but rather helps to level the playing field.
And that's going to require a concerted effort from governments, businesses, and educational institutions.
Yeah.
It's about making AI education a public good, just like we do with traditional forms of education.
Hoffman also talks about the potential for AI to be used for social good. He envisions a future where AI is harnessed to address some of the world's most pressing challenges,
Like what?
from climate change and poverty to disease and inequality.
It's inspiring to think about how AI could be used to make a real difference in the world,
Right.
but it also highlights the importance of ethical considerations in AI development.
For sure.
We need to make sure that AI is used for purposes that align with our values and that benefit humanity as a whole.
And that brings us back to the core message of superagency.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape the future of AI.
Right.
We don't have to be passive bystanders.
Yeah.
We can make choices,
Yeah.
demand accountability, and work together to create a future where AI empowers us, connects us, and helps us build a better world.
It's an empowering message and one that I think we all need to hear.
Absolutely.
We're not powerless in the face of this technological revolution.
Yeah.
We have agency, we have a voice, and we have the ability to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity. It's really empowering to think about, how we can shape the future of AI
Yeah.
and steer it towards a positive direction. But
Right.
we'd be remiss if we didn't address the potential downsides.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
AI does come with its own set of risks and challenges.
And Hoffman certainly doesn't shy away from those in his book.
Right.
One of the most pressing concerns he highlights is the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes.
Right.
We're talking about everything from surveillance and propaganda to the development of autonomous weapons systems,
Wow.
things that could have a seriously detrimental impact on individuals and society as a whole.
It's like a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
The same technology that can be used to, diagnose diseases or personalize education can also be used to manipulate people or even harm them.
Right.
It's a bit unsettling to think about.
It is unsettling, but Hoffman argues that we shouldn't let fear paralyze us. Instead, we need to be proactive.
Okay.
We need to acknowledge these risks and work collectively to mitigate them.
How do we do that?
It's about establishing ethical guidelines for AI development, promoting transparency, and ensuring accountability.
It sounds like we need a kind of global conversation about responsible AI development,
Exactly.
similar to the discussions we've had around, nuclear weapons or genetic engineering.
Right.
Technologies that have the potential to reshape our world in profound ways, both positive and negative.
We need to recognize that AI is a technology with global implications.
Yeah.
It's going to affect everyone, so we need a global approach to ensuring its use ethically and for the benefit of humanity as a whole.
That means bringing together governments, businesses, researchers, ethicists, and everyday citizens.
For sure.
Everyone has a stake in this. It's about finding ways to balance innovation with responsibility,
Right.
to harness AI's power while safeguarding against its potential dangers.
And Hoffman believes that each of us has a role to play in this. It starts with staying informed, educating ourselves about AI, and engaging in these crucial conversations.
So what can we do?
It's about speaking out against unethical uses of AI, supporting organizations that are working to promote responsible AI development, and demanding that our leaders prioritize ethical considerations.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passive consumers of technology.
Right.
We have a voice, and we can use it to shape the future of AI in a way that reflects our values and aspirations.
That's the essence of superagency.
Yeah.
Recognizing that we have the power to influence the development of this technology and ensure its use to create the kind of world we want to live in.
Right.
A world where AI empowers individuals, strengthens communities, and helps us address the challenges facing humanity.
It's a powerful vision,
Yeah.
and I think it's one that offers a much-needed dose of optimism in a time when many people are feeling anxious about the future.
Yeah, it is.
It's a reminder that we're not helpless in the face of technological change.
Right.
We have the ability to shape it, to guide it, and to ensure that it serves humanity, not the other way around.
Hoffman's book is a call to action. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI, and that the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create together.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
exploring the potential of AI, the risks it poses,
Mm.
and the importance of superagency in navigating this uncharted territory.
Yeah.
We hope you found this deep dive into Reid Hoffman's Superagency, Our AI Future, as thought-provoking as we did.
If you're feeling inspired, we encourage you to continue the conversation.
Yeah?
Share your thoughts, your hopes, your concerns about AI with your friends, your family, your communities, because the future of AI depends on all of us.
And remember, you don't need to be a tech expert to have a voice in this conversation. Everyone's perspective matters. So let's keep learning, keep questioning, and keep working together to shape a future where AI empowers humanity.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
See you next time.